Welcome to our short demo video showcasing Microsoft Sentinel solution for SAP applications. In this demo scenario, we begin with an initial breach within the SAP environment itself, where we observe a user logging into a SAP environment. The attacker engages in lateral movement within the SAP landscape and begins to explore and search for other vulnerable systems. Eventually, the attacker successfully jumps onto a production system within SAP, where they discover highly sensitive files. Furthermore, the attacker uncovers additional details about the victim's network and environment, providing them with valuable insights. Armed with this newfound knowledge, the attacker proceeds to launch successful attacks on other systems within the environment. In order to maintain a firm foothold on the compromised environment, the attacker decides to clear security event logs to cover their tracks. We will examine the potential incidents received from Sentinel, showing you on how you could leverage the SAP threat monitoring solution with other data sources and detections to uncover such attacks. In this particular use case, we receive an incident notification labeled SAP RFC Trusted System Modified for a production system, alerting us to a potential issue. This incident suggests that a user has tampered with the SAP Remote Function Call (RFC) connection, possibly attempting to leverage it to move from a system to a trusted system. Note that the account entity is stored in custom details of the incident. Click on Events under Evidence and the Logs page will be launched to display the raw event. Examine the event details. Take note that the link to the CVE is included in the event. Let's say you would like to explore other related alerts but would like to revisit this later. You can select this event by ticking the checkbox and click on Add Bookmark. Specify the details of the bookmark such as name, tags and notes, and click Create. Click Done to close the Logs page. You will find the newly created bookmark in the incident timeline, which you can easily access by clicking on it. Once the attacker successfully gains access to a production system, they initiate a search for valuable data of interest. This data could potentially include financial records, confidential information, or any other sensitive data. However, Microsoft Sentinel promptly notifies us of the breach. It detects suspicious activity where one of the sensitive tables is being directly accessed through an RFC remote function call. This alert raises a red flag, indicating a potential security incident within the system. Note that we are still on the production system, A4H. The IP entity is also the IP that is used when the attacker first logged into the test system. Click on the Entities tab and select the IP address. You will find Sentinel has auto-enriched the IP with GeoIP information. Select Entity Actions or ellipsis next to the IP entity. You will find options to take action on the IP such as add the entity to Threat Intelligence Table or run a playbook on the entity. After examining the Sens tab table in SAP, it appears that the attacker has discovered interesting information, since the previous attack is now followed by the creation of a new incident triggered by port scanning activities. Remarkably, these activities originate from the same IP address used by the new SAP user account prior to initiating their chain of attacks. It appears that the attacker is actively searching for additional vulnerabilities within the environment, attempting to identify any weak points. It is noteworthy that the IP address mentioned in this incident, which corresponds to the entity conducting the port scan, is the same IP address used for logging in as the new SAP user account prior to initiating the attack. Finally, it appears that the attacker has successfully moved from SAP environment into the production network and accessed one of the domain controller DC2. There was a suspicious activity performed on DC2 by the new SAP user account, which was clearing the security event logs. This is the evidence that the attacker trying to cover their tracks. That concludes our demo. Get started today with Microsoft Sentinel solution for SAP by visiting our official documentation page. Thank you for